Hey guys, it's Miss Bolding. I'm making this video to walk y'all through the assignment for this week, the Dunker 3 assignment. So I provided, these are kind of instructions. I provided the link in Teams. So just go to the website, and then you don't really have to read the whole website. You're just looking for the answers to the questions. So you can just skim through, find what you're looking for. Okay, so these are the questions that I have devised. If you watch the whole video, I will show you where to find all these questions, all the answers. Okay, so number 1 says, who can play wheelchair basketball? So what kind of disability do you have to play? Number 2 is, what are some similarities of wheelchair basketball and regular basketball? Number 3, how are the rules of wheelchair basketball different from regular basketball? 4, what is classification in wheelchair basketball? And 5, how are wheelchair basketball wheelchairs different from regular wheelchairs? Okay. So when you're finished, you're going to go into Teams to the Dunker 3 assignment and find the Dunker 3 research questions, which is a form. Okay. So I already have the website pulled up. Okay, so it'll look like this: Dunker 3, a beginner's guide to wheelchair basketball. Okay, so I'm just going to read a couple sections that I feel like you need to know. Okay, I'm different, quite different, but not less. Temple Grandin, American science professor. You can't deny it. The game of basketball is beautiful, and it affects people from all walks of life. Thus, no one is more special than any other. We are all equal in the eyes of the game. Whether you're new to wheelchair basketball or hope to become a great player, or you're a normal basketball player or fan who wants to know more about the sport, there's one thing we all have in common: the love for the game of basketball. Whether you're just someone looking to learn more about wheelchair basketball, or someone with a disability that prohibits you from competing in normal basketball leagues, this is the article for you. One thing is certain: those of us who decide to rise above the odds and compete in a basketball league, even with disabilities, are truly inspirational. So let's dive into it and learn about the special people who participate in the great world of wheelchair basketball. What is wheelchair basketball? Wheelchair basketball is a special sport for people who have physical disabilities like cerebral palsy, congenital disabilities like amputation, spina bifida, paralysis due to accidents, polio, and a ton of other limitations. If you have any of the above classifications, it means one thing: you are special, and this sport allows you to play the game of basketball which you love. A disability may prevent you from jumping, pivoting, or running, but it doesn't stop you from moving your wheels on the court as you play the beautiful game. Trust us when we say you're not missing anything at all. With the game, you get the opportunity to ride on a wheelchair as you play with your remaining 4 teammates against an opponent team of 5 as well. Okay, so stopping right here. So look, physical disabilities, you can list any of those. You can also just simply list a disability may prevent that prevents you from jumping, pivoting, or running. So those are the kind of disabilities that you have to have. So those are the people that can play the game: people who have physical disabilities that prevent them from jumping, pivoting, or running. Okay, let's move on. The game is quite similar to regular basketball. The loop, background, and the court all have the same dimensions. Every team has 12 players, with only 5 playing on the court per time. The aim of the game is for players to make as many baskets within 4 periods of 10 minutes apiece. To get stability and balance, players use only lightweight and small wheelchairs, which come with one or two smaller wheels at the anterior. Plus, to stay agile and active while you play the game, you get strapped into the wheelchair. Doing this allows you to move freely, especially when taking shots in motion. Wheelchair basketball is no doubt a great game of sports, but how did it all start? Okay, so the second question is, how is it similar to regular basketball? This is your answer right here. So the backboard, the loop, the backboard, and the court all have the same dimensions, and every team has 12 players with only 5 playing on the court per time. Okay, so if y'all just want to copy and paste into forms, that's probably the best way to do it. Okay, so the next section is who invented wheelchair basketball, but none of the questions asked about that, so we're just going to skip this question. Also, the history of the game, we don't need to know the history. Okay, the next question was, how are the rules of wheelchair basketball different than regular basketball? Okay, so rules of the game is where we would find that answer. The primary rules of wheelchair basketball are quite similar to that of regular basketball game. The rules include minor modifications that met the needs of the players in the wheelchair during a game. Here are the 3 primary rules of the game discussed extensively. Fouls. Okay. In the game, your wheelchair is part of your body, which is in connection with establishing a sense of responsibility for your contact in the court. In case of blocking, going out of bounds, charging, and many other violations. The regulations of the game don't allow you to stay put in a key area for more than 3 seconds as an offensive player. There's more. Lifting your legs or body to gain advantage to take a shot is a technical foul. Thus, you must remain seated in your chair while you pass, shoot, or dribble the ball. You are not allowed to use your limbs to wheel your chair, as it's an unfair advantage. That's not all. In a scenario when you fall off your chair, the referee is likely to stop the game if he believes you're at risk of getting injured. Otherwise, the game will continue. Moreover, if you're an offensive player, you can't go into the key until the referee hands the ball over to the inbounding player. Okay, so for this section, your wheelchair is part of your body. So that means that for blocking, going out of bounds, and other violations, your wheelchair is part of your body. And lifting your legs or body to gain an advantage is a technical foul. So that's another reason that it's different. Okay, we'll go on to dribbling. You can bounce the ball and drive your chair simultaneously in wheelchair basketball, but you're not allowed to push your wheelchair more than twice while holding the ball or having it on your lap before passing, dribbling, or shooting. In wheelchair basketball, there's no double dribble rule. Hence, if you take more than 2 pushes while you have the ball without dribbling, it will be counted as a traveling violation. You're not allowed to have any contact with your feet on the playing surface while you have the ball. Okay, so another way that it's different is you're not allowed to push the wheelchair more than twice while holding the ball in your lap before passing, dribbling, or shooting. Also, there's no double dribble rule. So if you push your wheelchair more than twice without dribbling, it's considered a traveling violation. Also, you're not allowed to have contact with your feet on the playing surface while you have the ball. Okay, so any of those, there's another section to scoring, but I just need like 2 or 3 examples of how it's different. So you don't have to put all of what I'm saying, just pick a couple. Okay, so scoring. The team attacking the basket gets a goal when the following occurs. A free throw to the basketball counts 1 point. A throw from a 2-point field goal counts 2 points. A throw from a 3-point field goal zone counts 3 points. A team has the opportunity to complete its goal attempt to score a basket within 24 seconds. Thus, the opposing team gets the ball and the right of play if the attacking team exceeds the 24-second time limit to score a basket. Okay, so that's another way that it's different. Okay, so you get 24 seconds. Okay, the next question is, what is classification? What is classification in wheelchair basketball? Okay, so this header says, what is the classification in wheelchair basketball? So that's probably where we're going to find our answer. Okay, the classification in wheelchair basketball involves measuring and categorizing a player's functional ability to handle all necessary skills to play the game, which are pivoting, shooting, dribbling, pushing, catching, and rebounding. It's crucial to note that it has nothing to do with the assessment of the player's skill level, particularly the stability and trunk movement of a player observed during the pivoting, shooting, dribbling, pushing, catching, and rebounding forms the allocation of a player to a specific class. In wheelchair basketball, players are assigned to various classifications ranging from 1 to 4, which are the most common classifications. The governing body placed players with exceptional cases under 0.5 classes. Such players don't fit into one class. For players with minimal disability, the classifier places them with the 4.5 classification. Okay, so the classification is really just the measuring and categorizing of a player's functional ability to handle all the necessary skills to play the game, which are pivoting, shooting, dribbling, pushing, and catching, and rebounding. Okay, so that's what the classification is. Okay, so our next question is, how are wheelchair basketball wheelchairs different from regular wheelchairs? Okay, so I'll have to find the section that's talking about wheelchairs. Equipment for wheelchair basketballs. The wheelchair. Okay. The wheelchair is the primary equipment for the game, has evolved with the sport. In the past, players had to use typical stainless steel wheelchairs, which came with arm and footrest weighing about 30 pounds. As the game evolved, the wheelchairs produced for the game became lightweight and streamlined. The features gave players the room for agility and speed with cutting-edge design, as well as a sport-enhancing functionality. But check this out. These days, sport wheelchair manufacturers construct the wheelchairs with aircraft aluminum or titanium to get the ideal weight and form required or optimal performance. They also include an extra 5th and 6th wheel to improve mobility and stability. New wheelchairs also come with a well-designed front bumper that can't be hooked or held by an opponent. The angle of the wheelbase is suitable for quick turns and stability. There's more. The wheels on the wheelchair now come with cables rather than the conventional steel spokes. The new ones are usually 50% lighter and 3 times stronger than the steel spokes. Top quality basketball wheelchairs are quite pricey, and they can go from $2,500 to $5,000 per piece. Now, you can see why some players find it hard to get one. However, you can find a slightly suitable wheelchairs in the market around $900 to $1,500. Okay, so how are they different from the regular wheelchairs? They are constructed with aluminum and titanium to make the ideal weight and form for optimal performance. They include an extra 5th and 6th wheel for improved mobility and stability. They come with a well-designed front bumper that can't be hooked or held by an opponent. The wheels are angled for suitability for quick turns and stability. And the wheels on the chair come with cables rather than conventional steel spokes. Okay, so those are all things that you can list as to how their wheelchairs are different from the regular wheelchairs. Okay, so obviously there's more to this website if you want to look through it. It talks about the Paralympics, is where most of them are played. It also gives a little snapshot of some of the leagues around the world, because this is an international sport. So Spain, Ireland, Germany, Turkey, United States, Canada, Europe. So you can read a little bit about that if you want to. It also tells about the famous stars. So there's a list of a couple individuals that are have received high honors for wheelchair basketball. And you can read about who these people are and why they were in the wheelchair and what they did in wheelchair basketball. There's different TV shows and stuff about it. And here are some frequently asked questions if you are just curious. Some of them are mentioned in the article and some of them are not. They just give you some questions, okay? So the bottom line, the game of wheelchair basketball works perfectly for recreation or a profession, regardless of your classification points, whether you're a 0.5 or a 4.5 or any other approved point. All you need to do is to comprehend the rules of the game, practice regularly to perfect your skills, get a role model to look up to, read motivational quotes to build your confidence in the game, and find a program near you to register. Okay, so that's it. Just go back and find the answers to those questions that I told you. Like I said, you can copy and paste the answers into forms, or you can type them out yourself. That's up to you. But guys, I basically gave you the answers, so there you go. Bye.